Hello, it's Future Me, and I'm just adding this part to the video because I recorded this video a couple of days ago when there wasn't any new X and Y information, and it's taken me a couple of days to edit it because I'm just live and things. It won't take me a couple of days in the future, it'll always be on Sunday from now on, I hope. Anyway, there's new information, and in the video I say there's no new information. So the new information, basically, a new fairy type is real. There is a new fairy type, and Sylveon and Marill and God of War are all this new fairy type, and it's super effective against Dragon, and it's brilliant. There's a new trailer, go check it out. And also, there's 2 new Pokemon being announced. Tonight also, Nintendo conference of only 3, so there's going to be some new Pokemon information then confirmed, there's going to be some new information. Also, you have Pokemon Smash this week with new information and Koro. So we've got a whole bunch of information this week. It's kind of the week that kind of makes me feel like we're going to go from knowing pretty much nothing to pretty much everything. So next week I will go over everything on Sunday, and it will be uploaded on Sunday this time. So I'll be posting all the things on the new information on Twitter, following them there, but if you want all the information together in one, come back on Sunday and it will be up then, I promise. So now I'm going to pass myself back over to Past Me. Hey guys, I'm Elegant and Shu, and welcome to the weekly Pokevlog. And I've missed 2 weeks, which I'm really sorry about. That's just because I've had exams and college and things. But that's kind of over now. I've got 1 exam left, which is tomorrow. So yes, final exam. Hopefully I should have my regular, usual upload schedule of several videos a week and my Pokevlog on Sunday after this. So I'm really sorry about missing videos and stuff. But there wasn't any new information anyway, because as usual, I'd say no matter what, if there was new information, I would make a video, somewhat of a video telling you guys of the new information. If there isn't, and I'm really busy, then I have to occasionally miss it, which I did do twice in a row, which is really bad. So hopefully I can make this up to you for you guys. But also I've changed places. It's not my usual bedroom. It's because I've had to move. It's not permanent unless you want it to be. It's just kind of boring. It's a white wall. But I could stick stuff on it and do that if it's a good thing, but I don't want to stick on it. But anyway, let's move on to this week's topic. So since there's no new information this week on Pokemon X and Y, I thought I'd go over some ideas of what the Pokemon are and what animals they're based off and what animals in France that I think the Pokemon company will make into Pokemon. So first of all, I want to start off with the bizarre idea that I found on the internet a while ago. I thought it's really cool. It's based off the ideas about where Xerneas and Yveltal, the 2 legendaries for the games, come from, because a lot of people think they're based off mythology or whatever, but this takes a completely different approach to it. So the first one is Xerneas, the deer-like Pokemon, the mascot for Pokemon X. Kind of looks like a neuron, which is a brain cell if you didn't know, because its horns kind of look like the dendrites of a neuron, its body looks like the stoma and the axon of a neuron cell, and it just generally gives off an idea of nervous system and bodily connections with nerves and neurons and whatnot. And Yveltal is kind of red and looks like kind of blood vessel-y and muscly. It kind of looks like a muscle cell or organ or whatever. So this sort of relates to the sort of muscles of the body. So these 2 things have a lot in common, of course. So that would make sense if one were to be the mind and the neurons and the nerves, and one's the body, the muscles and the blood. Because the 2 very things, sort of the main things about the human body or just any animal body. But also what's quite interesting with Yveltal is that there's a myosin gene which controls the muscle activity and muscle movement, which kind of has the same shape as Yveltal. No, I don't think they went this far as to copy off the same shape as a gene, but I thought it was quite interesting because it kind of does have a Y shape in it, which I thought was pretty cool. Now this is actually taken 1 step further by the person who actually found this and came up with these ideas, because these 2 sort of ideas from Xerneas and Yveltal link to the first 3 stages of an embryo development of a large animal. And I'm not going to go too far into this because it goes quite far into biology and whatever, but I'm going to briefly state what it is. So there's 3 stages of the 3 first stages of embryo development. You've got ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. So the first one, ectoderm, is the sort of the creation of the neurons in the skin cells, which definitely relates to Xerneas, because Xerneas is the neurons, the brain cells, the nerve cells. It's all that sort of thing that's created then, and so it definitely links there. So the second stage is the mesoderm, which, funnily enough, creates the blood cells and the muscle cells, which definitely relates to Yveltal. So what's the most interesting thing, I think, is that there's a 3rd stage. The 3rd stage is the endoderm, the creation of sort of the organs like the lungs, the liver, etc. So maybe the 3rd Pokemon, the 3rd mascot for the 3rd game, or the overall legendary like there always is, like the Kyurem of the Zekrom and Reshiram, possibly could have something to do with the organs of the human body, well, not just the human body, just any animal body. But I found this really interesting because I really do think that Cernius looks like nerves and whatnot, and Yvette definitely looks like blood cells or whatever. You might not go into the detail of the first 3 stages of the embryo development, but I definitely think they do relate to the body parts. The Pokemon we currently have, first of all we have Fennekin, which is based off the Red Fox, which of course is native to France. We have Froggy, a frog, which is quite native to quite a lot of the world, but also native to France. We have Helioptile, which is a lizard Pokemon. Lizards, we have lizards in France, small lizards. And you have also Fletching, a Robbing, which is again native to France. And you also have Fennekin, of course, which isn't technically a new Pokemon as such. It's not a new animal because it's related to Eevee, and Eevee is the first generation, and Eevee is sort of a Phoenix Fox Pokemon. So you can't really say that Sylveon's got to be related to France somehow because it's related to the first generation. So we can't really count that, but it's still Fox. The next one we have Go-Go, which seems to be related to 2 sort of mountain goat Pokemon, mountain goat animals from France, from the Alps. So one is the Ibex, which gives it the horns, and also since Go-Go is a grass type and the Ibex eats herbs and grass, that kind of relates there. But then also the Chamois is a mountain goat from the Alps as well, which sort of has the white colouring on the face and the pattern of the face that Go-Go has, so kind of relate that way. Then you have Pancham, which is a panda. Now I don't know why they put a panda into a game based off France, because I really don't think there's pandas in France, and I really tried to figure out why on earth they would put a panda. I have no idea. If you guys have any idea, comment down below, because I have no clue why on earth they tried to put pandas in it, because it really doesn't make sense to me. And you may have noticed I missed out Chespin. And why is this? It's because Chespin is a bit of an ambiguous Pokemon. No one really knows what animal it's based off. But I did some research, and first of all you've got the Chespin in its name, kind of a chestnut pin, which doesn't really help. It just kind of makes you think of chestnut, which you kind of already get from its hat thing. So I looked it up a little bit more, and I found that the Japanese name for the Chespin is Hari Maron, if I'm pronouncing it right, and the Japanese name for a hedgehog is a Harinezum, which is kind of the same start to it. And once you look at it, it does look like a hedgehog. It kind of looks like a chestnut hedgehog, which in fact, if you translate it into a few different languages, the name for Chespin, you can derive hedgehog a few different ways from the name as well as chestnut. So I really do think once you look at it, you sort of think, oh, it's a hedgehog. And hedgehogs are native to France and whatever. Still no idea why the hell Pancham is in it. So to find animals that the Pokemon Company will make into Pokemon, I've searched the native animals through France and found a few animals that I think that they haven't used so much in the past, that I think that they will use now. So the first one is a marmot. So it's kind of like a beaver-like animal. If you don't know what one is, think of Alan. And what I mean by that is, if you have never seen it, it's sort of a meme made by the BBC documentary or something. They did a voiceover of a marmot and they had it saying Alan, Alan repeatedly. So if you know what I'm talking about, you know what a marmot is. If you don't, go search BBC Marmot Alan and you will see what a marmot looks like. And I really do think this will be made into a good Pokemon. It's beaver-like, so it does remind me kind of Bidoof, and I don't like Bidoof, but I think it would make a good Bidoof, a good Bidoof Patrat replacement. So the next one, I think a Lynx would be a very good Pokemon to add in, and not just because it's a cat Pokemon and I love cats, it's because in the past Pokemon have really not had that many cat Pokemon. They've had sort of house cats a few times, they've got Meowth and Purloin, but they've not really had, with Skitty as well, but they've not really had larger wild cats. They've never had a lion. They've had Lipard, which is a leopard. They've not really had that many, so I really do think having some larger wildcats would be a very good thing for Pokemon, and it is something typical to the Alps, the Lynx is. So I'm kind of excited, hoping that they will have this in it. The next one is Mice and Deer. Now, we've already had these Pokemon before, and also we've had the deer as Cernius, so we might not get a deer, but there are 2 other animals that I couldn't leave out from this list because, you know, they are very typical to France and Northern Europe. Next one, Red Squirrel. We've had squirrels before, we've never had a red squirrel, and squirrels are, I mean, they're worldwide, but there's a specific type of European squirrels that I definitely think will make quite a different Pokemon to the other animals. And since it's red, like the Red Fox, we could have a fire type squirrel, which would be quite an awesome Pokemon. So the brown hair as well, we've had rabbits before, but the brown hair is of course native to Europe and such, and it could be made in a completely different way, because I know the rabbits we've had before were completely different to what they could be, I guess. So we could have a completely different type of rabbit. Now this is an interesting one, bats, because in Europe and France there's so many different types of bats, and I'm pretty sure Europe is the most diverse home to the most diverse species of bats. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there are a lot of bats in Europe, a lot of different types of bats and such. So I really do think if they made new bats it would make sense, but we already have Zubat and Swoobat, so whether the new region is really close to the old regions and they're going to have loads of Zubats and Swoobats flying around in caves or whatever, or are we going to get new bats? I don't know. I think it'd be cool if we had some new bats, but we've already had bats before, and making, you know, the replacement for Zubat again after the 5th generation, because we've just had Swoobat. Don't know whether it's going to happen, but it'll be a good idea. So the next one is a dolphin and an owl. So we've had an owl before, which is the Noct Owl. I don't think we've had an owl since, so that was only in 2nd generation. So I think an owl will be a good one, because there's a lot of barn owls and things here in Europe. So I would love an owl. I like owls. I think it would make a good Pokemon. Dolphins, yes, brilliant Pokemon. Because we have Go-Go to ride on around the city. We can have a dolphin to ride around in the water. Although, to be quite fair, we can just use surf and we can just ride a bike around. But whatever. I love the idea of having a dolphin. That would be brilliant. And we've had a whale, so why not a dolphin? The final one I wanted to mention is probably the one I think is definitely going to be most made into a Pokemon. It's the Pine Marten. Now, look it up, and I really do think it looks like a Pokemon already. You won't have to change it much. It already reminds me of kind of Pokemon-like. It's the most Pokemon-like of all the Pokemon, the animals I've mentioned. So I really do think the Pine Marten, would definitely make a good Pokemon. So let's move on to the question of the week. So what animal do you want to see most as a Pokemon? I would definitely have to say the Lynx is just one I really want to see, just because they've not had any like large cat Pokemon before. They need some more. Also, Owl and Dolphin I think would be pretty damn awesome Pokemon. Pine Marten is just sort of already there. They can't not make a Pine Marten into a Pokemon. So tell me what you think down below. I want to say thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll have some new information next week, and I'll see you then.